Greetings, ancient ones. Well, I'm the ancient one. You're the seekers. And I'm here to discuss and vent and let out some things that have been running around in my mind. Of course, I'm thinking of the Tour Championship, Rory McIlroy's outstanding performance. He has ultimate talent, and he did put it on display this weekend at Eastlake. And he had some stiff competition, but it's good to see him prevail. Good to see the Braves prevail. They're on a streak. They just swept the Mets. I like to see that. Well, I'm on a streak. I'm here up in the mountains at Cashiers, North Carolina, 4,400 elevation. I got my sweater on. Look at this. First time in months. And we get out in the morning at 8 o'clock to beat the heat, but by 10, certainly 11, it's cooking. But here, the high will be 69 today. I hate it. But I'm going to toughen up here. With a sweater, I'll be out hitting balls a little later. This morning here, really quiet, peaceful. 2-week timeshare, this is what twice a year, we indulge ourselves. You need this recharge of batteries, no matter what you do. And we're all going 90 mile an hour. So put it down to idle and sit back. Last night we had pan-fried trout at Micah's. We sat out on the veranda. It was so cold. They had butane heaters, but still I was glad to get back to my condo and blanket up. So J.H. talks about swinging under containment. And I think of a loose cannon. What is a loose cannon? Well, years ago, the British Empire had warships, about 400 years ago. They were wooden, and they had these cannons that were bolted down to the deck. Well, the recoil would often break the mounting, and they would fly across the deck and maim a sailor or possibly kill them. So we don't want to be a loose cannon, whacking and hacking. So we have so much going on here, movement. So I have gone to a minimalistic attitude. In my daily life, I'm cutting down on taking stuff to the church thrift store, Goodwill. A lot of stuff I don't need. My wants are many, my needs are few. So when it boils down, we have mental, physical, and spiritual needs. So one buffets or supports the other. So keeping the head going, the mind, the neurons firing, is very primary in my life. And thinking beyond my little box, cognitive dissonance, there is a great beyond, and better things are yet to come. The best is yet to come. So I'm looking for better things. I'm looking for better things in my golf swing, in my present life, my spiritual life. And I call myself a seeker, and I hope y'all are seeking better things. And I appeal to high achievers. There are certain segment, and that's okay. They just get along. They just do the minimum. They don't want to think too much. If they're golfers, I'm okay. I get good exercise. I'm having fun. So what? I'm shooting 95 or 100. Well, for me, that wouldn't be a lot of fun. I'd like to have a feeling of accomplishment. I've always been somewhat of an efficiency expert. I always want to do things in the best way, maybe the laziest way. But grunt work is not part of my DNA. And we talk about rhythm, tempo, timing. We talk about fluidity in golf. These hackers and whackers, I guess they're getting good exercise, but are they having fun? Frustration? Feeling of accomplishment? Efficiency? I don't think so. Losing balls? Hunting in the weeds? Taking unnecessary strokes? That's not good. We want good for ourselves. And good is efficiently employing motion in our mind to accomplish a good result. Well, it can be difficult at times because we have to use our brains. I have to think. Someone says, I don't like to think. It causes problems. Well, it can. But in the learning process, whether you're playing a piano, learning to type, a musical instrument, any skill, you have to consciously think of mechanics and fundamentals. Well, what comes first? Form or function? Well, that's not a trick question. Form creates good function. So our body's a machine, the club's a tool. How do we get good form? Well, it's actually very simple, seven-year-old stuff. It's all about physics and geometry, and this might be 10th grade stuff. But anybody can understand the laws of leverage. They can understand swing plane, not coming over the top. They can understand having a quiet, still, passive center. It'd be like a lawnmower blade. If you bent the shaft, it's not going to work well. So you're not going to be happy. Your car, it gets out of the line. There's a lot of principles of the wheel, and it's just a basic thing we need today's modern economy or our culture. We want to be efficient. It's look all around you. The basic laws of nature, gravity, centrifugal force, momentum, inertia, all of this plays in to playing golf or anything. For going downstairs, we use our 6 sets of levers. Should be lower sets, ankles, knees, hips. Upper 3 are the shoulders, elbow, wrists. So all these are used. They're used in everyday functions. If we're going downstairs, we have to apply our leverage with our ankle, knee, and hip. You can't go downstairs without using those. You might not use the upper 3, but you're counterbalancing. This shoulder, when you walk, goes forward, and your arm, it's just you don't have to think about it. I think about Tennessee walking horses, and they can they can train them to have both sets of legs on one side go in the same direction, which is totally awkward. Try this little experiment. When we walk, our arms wave in counterposition to our leg. So I have them go with the leg, kind of lockstep. You won't be happy in doing that for long. But, you know, we have a lot of automatic motor skills. Breathing is automatic, thank goodness. One fellow I read, he thought, well, I'll train myself that I'll breathe consciously. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Well, he got so messed up, it was a real problem. But we hiccup. How are we going to stop that? You know, there's a lot of automatic stuff that comes on, some you don't want, but you can train, and this is algorithms. I learned this recently. We have algorithms. Computers are based on this, where they're matching. I don't know whether it's numbers or words or letters, but they notice millions of them, and they can. It's amazing to me. Our mind is these algorithms. Now, a baby has few of them, but they're building these neuronal connections. So they know they cry, they'll get fed. Sometimes that continues through for a lifetime. But to get fed, then we figure out that we're going to have to buy or roast something or kill something. It's just, we call it common sense, but it's how we're built. Bill calls it our DNA, and we're all different. I mean, it's amazing. I go to the zoo, watch animals, but I have more fun watching people. You can go Walmart or the mall, and you can have all the entertainment if you're really fascinated the way people, how they do, how they act, how they walk, how they talk. It's amazing and it's amusing. Well, I'm observing. I'm a curious fellow, and I'm observing all these golf swings. They're all amazingly different, except the top level. Most of those are carbon copies. You look down the driving range, with few exceptions. But the homemade swings, wow, and most of them aren't very efficient. And often the stars will align, they'll hit a good shot. How did that happen? Well, it's kinetic linking. Everything, all your joints, everything is working together. Well, we like them to work together. And I knew a fella, the senior center, 80-year-old. His nickname was Cowboy. He wore a Stetson hat, a vest with, leather vest with tassels, and Levi's with boots. And it's said he used to run illegal whiskey out of North Georgia. But it's said, I never experienced it, but you throw up a silver, he could pop that out of the sky from 20, 30 feet. Just like that. Well, do we take it up and line up? And no. He had trained himself, so it's automatic. He didn't have to line up with his eye. He'd bring it from hip. So he knew where this was in relation to that coin. Special talent? Yeah, but he had done a lot. Probably shot cans first, then smaller and smaller. Knife throwers. And you got, well, just darts, this skill. And we use these two fingers and thumb. And that's the primary movers of the golf swing. It's not these graspers. It's these three digitals. They're controlled by the medial nerve, which goes through the carpal tunnel up to the brain and directs that. So we can be very skillful, very exact. Now I'm a top-level pool player. Well, guess what? I don't use this or this. It's this. Very delicate. I can move that ball around. Oh, I had a great week last week. I played a total of 9 games, won all of them. 9-zip goose egg. It was a thing of beauty. And these guys are 1/4 my age, but I know some things about spin, how to move the ball, the right pace. Well, by the way, what's most important in putting? Distance or direction? This is not a trick question. I'll give you a second to think about it. Well, you're right. It's distance control. So we might hit it a foot or so right or left of the hole, but we can easily go 6-8 feet past the hole or 4 feet short, and then we got a tester. And these pros, when they're chipping and playing, they put it up very close. Well, we want it closer in. A 4 1/4 inch hole looks, to the good putters, looks like a garbage can. But it squeezes down for those that are really fearful and not confident of their putting. So it's all mind. You have to have some physicality. But we have these abilities. We can walk downstairs. We can drive a car. We can type. We can play a musical instrument. There's a lot of things we can do. But golf is beyond a lot of people. I ask people, you play golf? Oh, I tried it once. I'm stinky. I'm awful. Yeah, I'm pretty good at putt-putt. Well, everybody stinks when they start. But are they motivated? I tell people, all I need is a motivated student. I've got one, 73-year-old Carol. She was on YouTube with her. She agreed to get on. Just a little thing. She learned to fly an airplane just because she was motivated. But on her bucket list, she wanted to play. Her husband plays, and so she's coming along nicely. We're still working on short game, chipping, pitching, and putting. And we're getting rid of all this and just this, where the big muscles move. And by the way, I have developed a new putting idea. Well, it's not new. 40 years ago or so, I came across this called knee putting, and I don't know who propagated it, but I got to thinking about it. What causes those pulls? And we're twitchy. All this going on. Well, if I lock in, put my elbows to my sides, and just move it with my knees, this goes very smooth, very exact. I can make those 2 and 3 foot putts. And I made a 50-footer last week, just doing this. Nothing moving, minimalistic. Anyway, cheers. I hope you're all enjoying possibly some cooler weather. It's been in the 90s for so long. I'm enjoying this sweater weather. So cheers. Stay contained. Keep it in the channel. Love y'all. Take care.